Hi, and thanks for watching this video, which is a nostalgia trip for me, tracing my computer chronology from 1983 to 1992. It started with the Oric 1. I was 12 going on 13 in 1983, and I really wanted a computer, but we could only afford £80, so we went into town, and originally I was going to get a ZX81, but the chap in one of the shops dissuaded me, so I went to another shop and begrudgingly found an Oric one for £80, took it home, not really the thing that I wanted, but it's probably one of the most important events in my life because this computer got me into computing both as a hobby and as a career. I really got the bug by learning to program in basic and machine code on this computer. And this is my actual Oric one from 1983. This is not one that I've bought later on in life through nostalgia reasons. I've kept it all this time. It's never let me down in more than 40 years, even though I've plugged in things the wrong way around. Thank goodness it didn't blow up, but it's an extremely valuable heirloom for me. Then in 1985, I managed to, at the end of 1985, Christmas 85 in fact, I remember seeing an advert for an Atari 800 XL for £80, including a tape drive and 5 games and a joystick. And I knew the Atari 800 was a very powerful machine. I'd seen the screenshots in magazines and wished that I could get games like that for the Oric. Um, so begged my mum and dad, and they managed to get £80 together. And we went to Dixon's in the UK, which is a UK electrical um, shop, um, and took this home, and I was blown away. I learnt more machine code here, but also how to program custom chips like the displayless interrupts of the Atari 800 XL and the sprites. And interestingly, it then led me to my next computer. So I kept the Atari for until 1988 basically, and then I got an Amiga A500, and this is a game changer for me. Just before I went to the year before I went to university, the price had come down to £399 in the UK, and so again I thought that was just within reach. My parents saved up, and I'm very grateful that they bought me an Amiga 500, and I learned to program in C on this computer. I hadn't heard of C before. I'd only just got into compiled languages using Pascal at college at the time, but I learned C on this computer, which then I used at university, including C++, but also used it in my career. So this computer really helped me professionally, not only from a hobby point of view. And of course, it turns out that these two computers are closely related in terms of the designer. So J Miner created the custom chips of the 8-bit Atari home computer systems back in the late 70s, and he then went on to create the new custom chips for the Amiga range of computers. So it's a small world. So what I wanted to do though is just quickly demonstrate these computers to you very briefly, so you can get a feel of what they were like and what I thought of them when I first started using them. So we can see here the Oric one. What's attached to it is a SD card system. It just replicates a tape drive basically, so it's not really anything that fancy, but it's hugely convenient. And if I then show the screen that is being displayed here, which is what, let's see if I can get it straight. That's kind of good enough, I think. I hope you'll agree. It's showing the Oric startup screen, so I'm going to type ZAP just because you have to do that with Oric. The observant of you will see that it's a version 1.1 ROM, and the Oric one was actually a version 1.0 ROM. That's because of the tape system that I've got attached to it. It uses a 1.1 ROM by default, but it is what it is. Basically, this is the Oric. So it's a very basic computer, no custom chips really. It had a ULA, an unlimited logic array, that drove the video and the memory access, but little else. It had a nice sound chip, which was the AY38910, which was also found in computers like the MSX, but graphically it was kind of simple. However, enough of that. What I want to show you is the games that you could play on it. So all that's done is it's fired up the loader, and the game that I need to show you is, I remember the one that I played to death back in the day, which was called Xenon 1. So it's loading, but luckily we don't have to wait the same amount of time that you would in the back in the day, 15 minutes or whatever. And when I saw this loading screen, I was like blown away, because up till that point there I was doing a bit of basic programming and some basic text things, but this was like so colourful and so sophisticated looking. Now the sound is coming directly from the Oric. It didn't pipe sound to the TV, but it had quite a loud speaker. I'm going to demonstrate that by showing you now. So we can, there's the volume, it's quite loud. Press fire, and then I'm going to show you the first levels. So you go left and right and fire, that's the only buttons I need, so let's go. So it's like a Galaxians clone, and you have to watch your fuel. And then these guys are really terrible. And also, see, I'm not as good at it as I used to be. I used to be quite good at this. No. So I'm not going to get very far in this, I can tell. No. So that's it, and game over. But that's an example of what I thought was one of the really good games on the Oric one. So now let's go over to the Atari. Now on the Atari, let me just flick over to the Atari video. So I'll turn on the Atari, and what I've got on here is something called the Atari S-Max, S-Drive, and basically it emulates a Atari floppy disk, and it's fantastically useful because it means I can just select a game, and then it will be again load up instantly. The game that I'm going to load up is Drop Zone. This is a brilliant game by an amazing programmer called Archie McLean, who also did international karate, which I really love. But I would like to play Drop Zone. Well, yes, Drop Zone. There's another one. I've just seen another one that I want to play, but let's do Drop Zone. So I'm going to load it onto this one, and then I'm going to press resets, and that should load up Drop Zone. Again, now this will take as long as a floppy disk will take to load, but the Atari floppy disks, unlike the Commodore ones, I think were reasonably good. The standard disk drive that you could get. But yeah, look at that. You can see immediately the graphics are much more sophisticated. That little bit of artifacting on the left there next to Drop Zone is not visible on back in the day. So I think this is just part of using modern TV technology. But I still love this. Let's just go and try it. It's really hard. So you've got to pick up your. No, I can't do it. I can't even talk while I'm playing this game because it's just too much for me now. Back in the day, honestly, I was really good at it. Oh no, and then these guys can't even explain. Okay, I'm just gonna not talk. Right, I just need to complete a level. So not talking is the key. One of the tips is to just hold on to one of the men that you're trying to say. And this is hard. These electrical things. And whenever these things come, and you've got clouds, you got. I mean, it's just ridiculously hard for me today. 40 years after I first played it, more or less. Yeah, practice is recommended. Such a good game, such a good game. Um, but time is moving on. I think I could easily spend ages longer and bore everybody to death. So let's go on to the last computer. Switch that off. And let's switch the video feed to the Amiga. So on the Amiga, I've got a floppy disk emulator. So so this is loading up. In fact, let's just go back just so you can see what it's doing. So it boots off floppy, and on the floppy, I've got a classic game. It's not the best game, but it's a classic game on the Amiga because it was groundbreaking in terms of its graphics and sound. I wouldn't say it was great gameplay. Now, this version that I'm loading is a cracked version, so I've got infinite. Thank goodness I've got infinite lives. It is next to impossible to play. I found it next to impossible to play at the time. But I'll just be quiet for a moment, and you can hopefully take in the memories of this game from the late 80s. I used to love this screen image here. It's very evokes a lot of memories from the late 80s. So let's press play, and it's going to try and load another disc. So it'll take a second for it to wake up. The reason for the delay is I was pressing the wrong joystick button, which doesn't help. So now it's going to ask me to load the next disc. This game came on 2 discs because of the amount of graphics and sound data that it had. So let's use the emulator to change disc, loading up the second disc. And this wait time is kind of real time. This is how long it would take back in the day. But at the time, if I looked at all that parallax scrolling, multiple parallax scrolling on the ground, in the sky, I was just blown away. I remember playing the demo of this. I didn't have the full game, but I also read that the game wasn't really that well received. There was a lot of graphics and sound, but not enough gameplay, unfortunately. But it really showed off the Amiga's capabilities. So let's have a go. Now I've got invincibility and infinite lives as well. I guess I don't need both, but invincibility is handy because I don't get killed and go back to the beginning of a level or a save point. But let's quickly, well, not as quick as this thing will load. Let's have a quick try of this. So the parallax scrolling is just awesome. I'm not going to go in there. Let's just find some enemies. Ooh. So this is what you basically did. You kind of did a lot of punching of things. Thank goodness I've got infinite lives. I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. Like, I mean, that's tough. I just don't think that's on. If I didn't have infinite lives, I would really be getting very far. Nice though, right? Let me see if I can get into. Oh. I'm sure there is a. Oh, what's this? Again, thank you, Infinite Lives. Whoa. You have no chance. Yeah, I'm trying to actually play the game, even though I've got Infinite Lives, but I've been dead a long time ago. So let's just move on. See if I can actually get somewhere. Where got the eyeballs. Oh. Come on. Okay. Now it's loading something from this. Hope it's the. Hope I've gone as far as I can go. Maybe no. I'm sure if I went left. Wow, I don't remember seeing that. This is good. I think it's just changed the graphics basically. You're still doing the same thing, you're kind of punching things. I want to go to another level, but I thought there was a way of getting to. Okay, can't kill that. Aha! This is going to be it. Here we are. So that took a while. I'll probably stop after this. I just want to show you this next level. I mean, I absolutely didn't get this far back in the day. It's still loading. T-junction. Now I have to go back to disc 1. That's annoying. Okay, good. Whoa, it's gone dark. No. What? So basically, it's impossible to see anything. What a waste of time. Well, anyway, thank you for watching this video. 20 minutes of nostalgia. As I said, these are 3 computers that helped me to really get into the world of computer programming. I got the bug after my first computer. I learnt loads about custom chips and hardware capabilities on the Atari after the Oric, and then the Amiga really felt like a grown-up system, multitasking, using the C language to program, and that really held me in good stead even beyond university. I kept my Amiga until '92, so I went to university with it. I did my university project on it, but then I had to sell it because I was no longer a student but an unemployed man, and I needed money, so I sold it. And I wish I never had. I wish I'd kept all my software for my Atari and my Amiga. In fact, for my Oric as well. The only thing I've got left of my Oric is basically the computer. But great memories from the day. This is me from the age of about 13, just before 13, until the age of about 21. So it's really the formative years of my computer journey, which still continues to this day. Thanks for watching.